All right, so today's lesson, we're going to be talking about arithmetic patterns. So I'm going to ask you guys one more time. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you have already done patterns at school. Give me a thumbs down if your teachers have not done patterns with you. Already we started today, okay. Excellent. Okay, getting quite a few thumbs down. Pavani says no. Kamakhala says no. Luchando says no. Suela says yes. Kimera says no. Okay. Mkhalang says no. Kakhalelo says no. Okay, so it's a mixture. It's a mixture. Okay. Yes, correct, Lulu. That's the one. Okay. Yes. So Mkhalang's like, yo, ma'am, nagidra the sequence. Yes. Mkhalang. Sequences are patterns. Okay, so sequences are patterns. So if you're looking at patterns at the moment on the screen, that's the same thing as sequences. All right, and we do get two different types of sequences. We get arithmetic sequences and we get geometric sequences, and we're going to be looking through those just now. Correct. Who says that? Is that Mfundo? Yes, Tn is equal to Dn plus C. But we're going to try and take this slowly. All right, okay, so when we look at arithmetic patterns, we're normally looking at patterns that give us a linear progression. Okay, a linear progression. Okay, that means that the relationship between, just like we would in a straight line graph, the relationship between one number and the next will have something to do with the same number being added again and again and again and again. Okay, Matavele, no, your exams just start in June. You guys are in grade 10. I don't know why your teachers are being these people, but okay. But apart from that, we'll talk about that. All right, so the two formulae that we're going to learn that are going to give us the same thing is first this one, which is standard. This is the standard one that you will find on your answer sheet, I mean, on your formula sheet. See, now I've lost my words. This is the standard formula that you'll find on your formula sheet, but also this one is also accessible because you've used this one in grades 8 and grade 9. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to use both of them. I'm going to show you guys how to use both equations because they're both going to lead us to the same answer, but depending on which one is most comfortable, you're more than happy to use both. Well, you're more than welcome to use both. I will tell you guys now, this one comes off a little bit simpler once we have simplified the whole thing. This one takes a little bit more logic and a little bit more, excuse me, of us kind of being intuitive about what it is that we're doing in order to find the answer here. But I will show you for both. All right, so these are the two formulae that we're going to be using here. And if you're writing them down, I'm just going to tell you guys what all of these symbols stand for as we go. All right, so Tn represents a term. All right, it represents a term in the sequence. That is what Tn stands for. A term in the sequence or a term in the pattern, or however you pronounce this. Okay, the D in our formula over here stands for the common difference. The common difference, and there will always be a common difference. Now, for those of you who are saying Tn stands for the number of terms, it does not. It stands for the actual term in the sequence. Okay, so it's very important that we understand the difference between Tn and n, and I'm about to show you the difference now. Now, Tn is the actual number in the sequence, but n stands for the term number. Okay, n stands for the term number. The C in this particular calculation will stand for the constant, and I'm going to show you where the constant comes in this particular question. Now, on the other side, we're going to have something quite similar. It's just that on this other formula that we use, Tn will stand for the exact same thing. This is also the term in the sequence. The only thing that we've added in this particular one is A, and A stands for the first term. Okay, A stands for the very first term in our sequence. Right, again, N will also stand for the term number, and D, again, will stand for the common difference. D is the common difference. All right, so if you're taking notes, you will write this down because it's quite important that we understand how to do this. Now, first thing that we're always going to look for in any of these is we're going to establish whether there is a common difference or not, okay? Now, the reason I say this is because on Wednesday, we're going to be learning about geometric sequences. And unfortunately, they're not always going to tell you whether the sequence you're working with or the pattern you're working with is arithmetic or geometric. So you first have to establish whether the sequence is arithmetic or not. Okay, that is step number one, to determine whether it's an arithmetic sequence or not. Now, all arithmetic sequences have a common difference. Okay, a common difference. And when we want to calculate for the common difference, we're going to have to look at what is happening from one term in the sequence to the next. Now, the formula we will use for the common difference, we're going to say D must equal T2 or T3 minus T2, which must also equal T2 minus T1. Now, let's talk about the difference between just the number 3 and T3, and just the number 2 and T2. There's a big difference here. Now, if we look at the sequence that ma'am has given you over here, and I'm just going to delete some of the stuff just a little bit so I can look at the sequence that I've given you guys over here. Now, this number 5 over here is in the position 1. It's in the first position. So its term number is 1. So N is equal to 1 in this position. N is equal to 1. Now, the first term in the sequence is 5. So T1 is equal to 5. Okay, so this is the second number, the second number in the position. So I want to ask you guys, what is the N for this number? N is equal to what in this particular position? N is equal to, what is its position in this formula? Correct, it's the second position. So N is equal to 2, not T2. It's not T2, guys. N is equal to 2. Then what we're going to say is that T2 is equal to, what is the number in the second position? What is T2? Correct, T2 is 8. Okay, now I'm going to ask you guys about this number over here. What is the N? What is the term number for this one over here? Correct, Mawande. The term number is 5. The term number is 5. What is T5? What is T5? Correct, Nakanya. That's it, Nakanyiso. That's it. T5 is equal to 17. Give me a thumbs up if what I've just done makes sense to you. Are we all okay with what ma'am has just explained? Okay. So I want you guys to note something. Okay, Oratilo says 50-50, and I'm going to explain in just a little bit. I want you guys to note something. Okay, when I say that my N is equal to 1, I'm going to go to my formula over here. Let's start with this Tn is equal to Dn plus C. If my N is equal to 1, wherever I see an N in my formula, I'm going to replace it with 1. Okay, I'm going to replace that N in my formula with 1. So let's say, for instance, I have Tn is equal to 3n minus 1. Now, if I say to you guys that N is equal to 4, what are we going to replace this N with? What are we going to replace this N with? Correct, we're going to replace N with 4. We're also going to replace N with 4 in the actual formula, because everywhere we see an N, we're going to replace n with 4. So we're then going to have T4 is equal to 3 times 4 minus 1, which is going to give us 11. So what this tells me is that T4 is equal to 11. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys another one. If I say to you guys that n is equal to 2, find me T2, please. And I want you to write it exactly like that in the chat. I want you to write T2 equals this. I want you to use this formula that we've got over here. Give me an answer in the chat. Now, remember, what this tells me is wherever I see an n, I'm going to replace it with 2. Mawande, you are on point, but you've forgotten to say T2. Correct, Jessica, that's how we're going to start. T2 is equal to 5. Thank you, Ntaganipo. That's exactly what I'm looking for. We know that we're going to replace n with 2. So I'm going to have T2 is equal to 3, open brackets, 2 minus 1. 3 times 2 is going to give me 6, minus 1 is 5. So T2 is equal to 5. All right. Beautiful, Entle, correct, 100%. Okay, Chifaro, I'm going to show you how we do this when we look at a different example, but for now, I want you to just write down exactly what I want you to do. All right, so for Chifaro and for Oratilwe, okay, look at the formula that ma'am has just given you. Do you see here it says, let me rewrite it. Okay, Tn is equal to 3n minus 1. Right. Now, if I say to you guys, I'm repeating, if I say to you guys that my n is equal to 3, we are going to take this 3 that I've given you, and I'm going to put that 3 into wherever I see an n in my formula. Okay, we are going to replace n with 3. Okay, so I'm going to have T3 is equal to 3 times 3 minus 1. And Mfundo, you are 100% correct. I'm using this as an example so that people can see where I'm going with this, right? So the answer I'm going to get over here is 3 times 3 minus 1, which gives us 8. So my answer is 8. So that means T3, the number in my sequence that sits in the 3rd position, is 8. Okay, Oratilwe, Chifaro, are you guys understanding what I'm saying? Sure, Jessica, thumbs. I know you're going to kill it though. I think you're going to do excellently. Okay, Chifaro, Oratilwe, are you guys okay? Let me know. Okay, DeAndre, it was already part of the sequence here. I gave it to you. It was part of the formula that I gave you. So this 3 is part of the formula. Okay, it was already part of the formula. The only part that you had to do was substituting in the n part. Okay. Okay, all right. Let's now see if you guys can catch on if I give you a different example. All right, we must remember the common difference, guys. We're still going to use it. Here's your next example. If I say to you guys that Tn is equal to 2n plus 5, and I say to you guys, I want you to find me n is the sequence where n is equal to 7. We are going to replace n in the sequence with 7. So please give me an answer for T7. T7 is equal to what? Now, Chifaro, I would like you to put your hand up if you can, so I can help you with this question if you're still stuck. Bunke, what's up?
Hi, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, my sweetie. What's going on?
I'm good. I wanted to ask you for the common difference. You said that it's T3 minus T2 and it's equals
Yes.
to T2 minus T1.
Yes.
Well, I wanted to ask you, can you just use one? Because for me, it's confusing. Can I just use T2 minus T1 when I have to calculate the common difference?
Not particularly, and I'm going to explain why. Okay. Let's say, for instance, remember I said to you that we need to check first if our sequence has a common difference. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
So if, for instance, you use T2 and T1 and you go 8 minus 5 and you're like, aha, my common difference is 3, right? What happens if this number over here is 12? Now, 12 minus 8 is equal to 4. It's not going to give you the same number, which means it's not an arithmetic sequence. Okay, so the idea behind this, the difference being common, is that we have to check in more than one place. Do you understand what I mean? So I first have to take my third term minus my second term. 11 minus 8 will give us 3. And that must be the same number as 8 minus 5, which is also 3. Now we can say, yes, our common difference is 3, because everywhere I get the same number. Do you understand? That word common is very, very important. It needs to be the same everywhere. Are you getting what I mean?
So, ma'am, when it's 3, 3, when it gives us the same answer, is that how we identify the sequence, if whether it's arithmetic or not?
Correct, 100%. So if it wasn't, we would, if the difference wasn't common, we would have to check if it's a geometric sequence, because they're not going to tell you whether it's arithmetic or geometric. You must figure it out. Okay. So the only way you're going to be that is if you check in more than one place.
And it also have the arithmetic and geometric, it has different formulas, right? We use different formulas.
Today we're doing arithmetic, on Wednesday we're going to do geometric.
Okay, it makes sense. Thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome, my sweetie. You just need to check with 2 different places to make sure that the difference actually is common, that it's not just a difference, it is a common difference. Okay, Tiamo, what's going on, my sweetie?
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, my sweetie.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so ma'am, I wanna ask a question based on the Watobe visit. Is it for free or a because
it is for free.
But when I message it, it says I have to pay.
No, you don't. Okay, so you need to just WhatsApp our the Watobe WhatsApp line, and explain to them that the chances are you've probably used a phone number that we don't have on our record. Okay.
Oh yeah, I use my number, not my mom's number.
Okay, so you just need to contact them so that they can put your number on the system and then you can access it. Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right, my sweetie. Jessica, how's it going, my sweetie?
Hi, ma'am. It's very difficult because tomorrow I'm writing my trig and it's very hard. Trig is not my job. It's not my friend.
Oh, my sweetie, okay. Do you know what I need you to do? You need to go check out the videos that we did on the Watobe website on trig, because we had so much fun. Okay, we had so much fun, and it was we learned quite a lot. So if you check some of our videos, you're going to do really great. Yes. But if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat. DM to Chanelly. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, with the common difference, if you get it in a test and they ask you need to find the TN or something, I don't understand, because the formula that they give us in my book is very difficult to remember. And can I use this term in a test if they want to find out what is the TN?
Yes, and I'm going to show
what's the number.
Do that in just a little bit. Okay, remember, Jessica, the n is always going to be there. Okay, do you see how when you write her equation, the n is always there. The n doesn't go away. So the thing we need to find out is what the is and what C is. Okay, that's the only 2 things we need to find out. Okay, the n is going to change dependent on the position. So if I'm looking for position 1, then my n will equal 1. If I'm looking for position 3, my n will equal 3. So the thing that we need to figure out is D. I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. Okay. You're very welcome, my sweetie. Good luck. Like, fingers crossed. And I know you're going to kill it anyway, but good luck for tomorrow. Siamtanda, what's up?
Ma'am, just wanted to ask a question regarding the boot camp. Like, I know you had like your first session on Saturday, so I wanna know where I can find the recording.
Have you
Ma'am?
the boot camp? You're going to sign up in order to get.
Yeah, I already signed up.
Okay, can you okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right. Okay, excellent. All right, guys, let's actually figure out, because I can see that some of us are confused because we don't know where to find this D and where to find the C and where to find this A and this N and this D over here. All right, so remember what I've just said to Jessica, guys. The N part doesn't go away. The N part is part of something that we call the general term. Okay, the general term. So N is going to change dependent on which number you're looking for. If you're looking for position 7, then you're going to replace N with 7. If you're looking for the number in position 9, you're going to replace N with 9. Now, let's talk about where we're going to find D. Now, remember we said that the common difference is T3 minus T2. Now, I know that my T3, the third number in the position is 11. So I'm going to go here now. I'm going to go 11 minus 8, which is T2. T2 is over here, which is 11 or 8, right? Is equal to T2, which is 8, minus 5. Now, 11 minus 8 is 3. And 8 minus 5 is also 3. So that means our common difference for this sequence that we have over here is 3. Our D is equal to 3. So we're going to go to our formula and we're going to replace the D over here with the number 3. Okay, so now we're going to have Tn is equal to 3n plus C. I see somebody with their hand up over here. Tafazwa, is that you with your hand up? Do you want to unmute for me and ask your question? Hello, Tafazwa. Sure, your mouth is moving, but like there's no sound coming out. So please check your mic settings for me. Okay, just check your mic settings, and as soon as you can speak, I'm happy to take your question. All right. Okay, so how do we find the C value? How do we find the C value over here? So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to use T1. I need to ask again, what is T1? In this particular formula that I've given you guys over here, what is my first term? What is T1 equal to? T1 is equal to 5. Right, good. We know that T1 is equal to 5. Right. Now, if I want to figure out what T1 is, I'm going to replace my N. My N is going to equal to 1. So I'm going to go into this formula and I'm going to replace N with 1. I'm going to go T1 is equal to 3 times 1 plus C. Right. But now T1 is equal to 3 times 1 is 3. What do I need to add to this 3 to get to my number 5? What do I need to add here? Correct, Mfundo. I need to add 2 plus 2. So that tells me that my C value is going to be 2. Therefore, C is equal to 2. Okay. Tafazwa, have you figured it out? Do you want to try again? Hello? Sure, it's still not working. Okay, look again. All right, so we're going to go to our formula and we're going to replace C over here with 5. I'm sorry, with 2, not with 5, with 2. Okay, Zippo, choose one. You can either choose this one or you can choose this one. Okay, they both do the same thing. Both of them do the same thing. And I'm going to show you just now how they both do the same thing. Okay. Timulucho, what's up, my sweetie?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, my sweetie.
So I see the first formula. Do you really have to use that formula, or we can choose between the two?
You can choose between the two. So I'm going to show you how to use both of them. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
I'm going to show you now how to use both. So I've just used this one so I can show you how to use this one. I'm going to do the other one as well just now. Okay. And then you can choose which one works best for you. All right. Okay. Let's look at this other one over here. Okay. Now we're going to use the exact same, sequence to find the general term over here. Remember, this is also the formula for the general term. Right. So here's what we're going to do. Remember, guys, we do not replace n. N stays as n everywhere. So we don't change n. Now, we are going to say Tn is equal to, A stands for my first term. What is the first term in my sequence, guys? What is T1? T1 is 5, correct. So I'm going to go where A is, I'm going to replace that with 5. I'm going to go 5 plus, open brackets, n minus 1 multiplied by my common difference. What was my common difference again? Correct, Nakanya. Yes, good. It is 3, so I'm going to put 3 here. Right, now here's what we're going to do next. I'm going to go Tn is equal to 5 plus. Now, because this thing is multiplied, we're going to do what we would do in algebra. We're going to distribute. We're going to take 3 multiplied by n and 3 multiplied by -1. So we're then going to get 3n minus 3. 3n minus 3, right? And then we're just going to add like terms. Tn is equal to, now I'm going to put 3n first, 3n, and 5 minus 3 is going to give me positive 2. Do you see how, guys, we end up with the same formula for both? For that one, oh, sorry, for that one over there, and for this one. They are both the same thing. We just used 2 different methods. Give me a thumbs up if what has just happened makes sense. If not, we're going to try another example. Okay. Now, you guys can look at both of these. Mfundo, if there are 3 formulas, I would like to hear your third one. I'm happy to hear it. Okay, so you guys can choose. Do you find this one easier where you just have to substitute T1? Or do we find this one easier where we just have to put in the first term and D and then distribute? You can choose which one. Okay, I'm going to keep giving them both. Stephen's like both. I like both, ma'am. I got this. All right, so I want you to write down which formula works for you, and then we're going to put the things together. All right, here's our next example. All right, we're going to look at this sequence over here. Okay, I'm going to rewrite the formula for you. This is the first one. Tn is equal to Dn plus C, and Tn is equal to A plus, open brackets, n minus 1, close brackets, D. You can choose which of these you want to use, but who remembers rule number 1? What is the first thing we must do? Rule number 1 says we must what? That's okay, Ivan. I also prefer the first one. Correct. Okay, Ethan, not even just find the common difference, find out if it is a common difference. If there is a common difference. I think I just gave you guys the exact same one that we did before. Okay. Correct. Refilwe, how's it going, my sweetie? What's up?
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, my sweetie.
How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am. So, ma'am, can I ask something using the second formula, ma'am? Because that's what we were taught at school, ma'am.
Yes.
If we found out that the formula is not arithmetic and it's a geometric, and the
Mhm.
pattern is 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared, 6 squared, meaning that
Mhm.
maybe is 1 squared. So I wanted to ask, what do we write by difference? Because the first term
Okay.
is 2 squared,
Okay.
and
2
then
squared.
it's gonna be plus brackets
Okay,
in
that's sweetie,
one.
squared numbers are not going to work for an arithmetic sequence or a geometric one. Okay, they don't work for either. Squared numbers give us a quadratic equation. Okay, they give us a quadratic sequence, and we don't do quadratic sequences in grade 10. Okay, we
Yes.
only start them in grade 11. So you won't be able to answer that particular question unless they've given you some sort of formula on how to do it. Okay.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
the thing is,
you're gonna.
the thing is, at school they didn't give us a formula, and our teacher taught this as if it was like something normal, because a a formula, a pattern that I know, if it's not arithmetic, it uses squares. That's the only other pattern I know besides arithmetic patterns.
Okay, sometimes depending on what's happening, it might be geometric, but it's going to have to be very specific. Okay, but the one that you're talking about, like 1 squared and 2 squared and 3 squared and 4 squared, that is definitely a quadratic sequence, and you're not going to be able to answer it using either arithmetic or geometric, neither of them. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
All right, Miss.
Because I wanted to try and answer a homework she gave us, but I guess
Okay.
I'll see, and I'll
All
tell
right.
you
Maybe
on Wednesday.
ask her. Yeah, maybe if you please tell me on Wednesday what she says and how that ties into the thing, okay? Because as far as I know, you
Yes.
shouldn't be doing it in grade 10, okay?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All right, Miss. Okay, for those of you who didn't realize Teacher Coco's blunder, this is the same question that we just did up there. So there's no need for us to do that one. Okay, let's try B. Can we look for the common difference at B, please? Let's calculate for B. Okay. Our common difference is going to be 3, correct. Thank you very much. Our common difference is 3 because T3 minus T2, 4 minus 1 is going to give us 3, and 1 minus -2, that's the same thing as adding. 1 minus -2, 1 plus 2 is also equal to 3. Therefore, our common difference is 3. Okay, Slay Queen, what's up?
Close girly girl, what do you mean that we don't do quadratic sequences in grade 10?
They're a grade 11 concept. Unless
You're
you go to a
lying.
private school and they've taught you quadratic sequences in grade 10. As
I
do
wish
with
I
my-
went to a private school. You're lying.
Okay, so
Oh my God.
quadratic sequences are a little bit more tricky. So we don't want to, we don't want to delve into that because there's
Girl,
a
you're lying
lot.
because why is it in our exam?
Why is quadratic sequences in your exam? Okay, your school is being super extra. I don't know what happened, but we don't do quadratic sequences in grade 10. If you do have a question about quadratic sequences, I'm happy to answer it, but technically you shouldn't.
Hi, Inan, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All right, excuse me, sweetie, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Your teachers are a lot, clearly. Whatever school Slay Queen goes to, guys, please don't go there. Okay, Amukelang, what's up?
Ma'am, what is a geometric pattern now?
A geometric pattern is when we times to get to the next number. So if I had like 3, 6, 12, 24, I would go 3 times 2 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24. But that's what we're going to do on Wednesday. So don't stress about it now. Okay,
Oh,
that's a Wednesday.
Okay, I get it.
Okay. All right, my sweetie. Okay, don't stress about it right now. I know, that accent, it killed me. I was about to say that, Anotida. I was about to say, it's giving Zimbabwe, guys, let's not do this. It's giving Malawi. Guys, okay. So if we use T1 over here, we're going to get that T1 is equal to 3. Now I need to figure out how I'm going to get back to -2 from 3. And the way I'm going to do that is by minusing 5, right? So that tells me that my C, therefore C, is equal to 5. So this geometric sequence I should get here is Tn minus 5. Sorry, Tn is equal to 3n minus 5. Please give me a thumbs up if you got the same answer that I've got over here. I know, I'm so sorry. Anotita, please behave. Pamela, what's going on, my sweetie? I see your hand.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, my sweetie.
Ma'am, I just wanted to answer the next question.
Okay, excellent. I'm going to ask you to keep your hand up and then I'm going to ask you some questions in just a little bit, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, my sweetie. Okay. All right, so if you use the other formula, you can say that Tn is equal to, now my first term is -2, so I'm going to say -2 plus, open brackets, n minus 1 multiplied by 3, which is our common difference. And then I'm going to distribute. So I should then get Tn is equal to -2 plus 3n minus 3. So I will then get Tn is equal to 3n, and then -2 minus 3 will give me -5. So if you used either of these formula, if you use that one or that one, you should get the same general term. Okay. Okay, DeAndre. Ah. DeAndre, that's so nice. Okay, how did you get 5 from 3 minus 5? Okay, Remy. Okay, remember, Remy, where are you? You just had your hand up. Thank you, Amohalang. Okay, so remember, Remy, that we used T1, right? Look over here, Remy. Our T1 is -2. So we want to get T1 must be equal to -2. Now, if I substitute 1 into my formula, I end up with just 3, but my T1 is -2. How do I get from 3 to -2? What do I need to add or subtract to get from 3 to -2? Guys, answer that question for me. I'm at 3, I need to get to -2 for my T1. What do I need to add or subtract to get there? Correct, subtract 5. Minus 5. And because this is the C part of my formula, that means my C is equal to -5, not +5. C is equal to -5. Do you see what I did there? Okay. Correct, Abigail. Good, but it must be negative because that 3 is going to move over to the other side of the equal sign. Therefore, C is equal to -5. All right. Okay, Pamela, let's work on this next one together. All right. You're going to choose whichever formula you want to use, my sweetie. Which one do you want to use? The first one, number 1, 2.
I used the second one.
Okay, excellent. Let's go for it. I kind of also like it. It saves me the, what do I need to? Okay, let's go. I'm going to go Tn is equal to, what is our first term?
Ma'am, we have 0 as our first term.
So we're going to go 0 plus, and then tell me what to write.
Bracket n minus 1, bracket 4 at the end.
Correct, because our common difference is 4. D is equal to 4. Good. Okay, what's our next step?
Ma'am, Tn is equal to 0 plus 4n minus 4.
Good, 4n minus 4. Good, next step.
Tn equals 4n minus 4.
Minus 4. Beautifully done, my sweetie. Just mwah. Excellent. Okay, well done. Very, very nicely done. Excellent stuff. Now, I'm going to give you a challenge. Pamela, can you use the formula you've given me to find me T25? Because that's what they want. That's one of these questions here. What are we going to do? If we're looking for T25, we're going to replace n with How much?
25.
Beautiful. So go for it. T25 is equal to?
Is equals to 8. Okay, ma'am. It's equals
Remember, we're
to
just going to take n and we're going to replace it with 25. Okay,
25.
so we're going to 4 times
4 times 25
good minus.
minus 4.
Correct. Good. And how much is that going to give us?
96.
96. Oh, my sweetie, you deserve all the flowers. Well done. Mwah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Beautifully done. Excellent work. Wonderful. Sure. Guys, killing it. Okay, again, I'm going to ask you guys, give me a thumbs up in the chat if we're understanding what we're doing. Are we okay with these questions? Jessica, what's up, my sweetie?
Hi, ma'am. With the second
Hi,
one
Miss-
we did, ma'am, I'm confused because the minus one, the minus 2 and 1, I got 3. I don't know why.
Okay, so my sweetie, look, we're going from 1, right? Okay, so you got plus 3 here at the end. Or minus
Yes,
3.
I got minus
Okay.
3, ma'am. I don't know why.
Okay, which formula did you use? The first one or the second one?
I used the first one, ma'am.
The first one. Okay, let's start from the beginning. I want to see where your mindset was at. Okay. Let's start from the beginning, my sweetie. We all agree that the common difference is 3. Yes? To get from -2 to 1, I must plus 3.
Yes,
and to
ma'am.
get from 1 to 4, I must plus 3. You're happy with that? Okay. So I'm going to take Tn
Yes, ma'am.
is equal. I'm going to replace D with 3. Are you happy? So I'm going to have 3n plus C. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. Now, if I had to put T1 in here, Jessica, T1, what are we going to replace this n with? This one over here.
The one with a 1, ma'am.
Correct.
It's gonna be
One.
3 bracket 1 close to bracket.
Plus C, correct? So I know that
Yes, ma'am.
T1 is equal to 3, but I must plus something. Now, Jessica, if we look at my sequence, do you see that the first number in my sequence is actually -2? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
T1 equal to -2. So I'm using T1. So my T1 answer can't be 3. How do I get from 3 back to -2?
You're gonna subtract.
Correct. By how much?
I think by 4 or 2.
Let's calculate.
5.
We're at by 5, correct. -5. So that tells me that my C value is -5. Okay, so I can then go back into my formula and I'm going to replace
Okay.
plus C with -5.
5.
Are we happy there?
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Very welcome. You're very
Yes.
welcome. I'm glad you got that. Excellent. I know Mawande, like she's asking all the relevant questions. I feel like she's just gonna ace her test tomorrow. I feel it. Slay Queen, how's it going?
Good. What was I? Oh, sorry, ma'am, because you just said, girl, I'm panicking. I'm panicking
Why?
because we are
What's
writing
going on?
exams tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
And I'm just, yes, queen, yes.
How? Guys, it's
This is
October.
okay.
No, your schools need to slow
This is
down.
just in
How?
case. No, wait,
Hey.
tomorrow Thursday, right? Tomorrow's Thursday, right?
No, tomorrow's Tuesday, my sweetie.
Oh my God.
Do you write on Thursday?
At least it gives me more time. Sorry, I was just going to ask, what was I? Oh, like when we wrap up here, are we gonna go through revision?
Yes. So
Like
once
when
we're
we
done with
wrap it
patterns, jump straight into revision. Yes.
And I wanted to answer your question, it's 2. I just got the dates confused.
Okay.
Ma'am, thank you so much. I just
You're very welcome. No,
I'm
it's
not
okay. We've still
okay.
got we've got a couple more days. Relax. Okay, don't stress. Okay, guys, I want to introduce you guys to something before we go. And I want you guys to try and follow with me. If not, I'm going to ask you guys to please rewatch the recording. Okay, so let's see what this question over here says. Okay, it says here, if the first term of a sequence is 8 and the third term is 16, determine the value of D and T2. Now I'm going to ask everybody in the chat to focus for me, please. I really need us to understand what's happening over here. Now, they're telling me that the first term is 8. So I know that that means that T1 is equal to 8. Okay. Then they're saying that the third term is equal to 16. That tells me that T3 is equal to 16. Now what they want me to do is find the common difference. Now, if we write this as an equation, not an equation, guys, as a sequence, okay, I know that between T1 and T3, what is missing? What is missing in between T1 and T3? T2, right? So I don't know what T2 is. So I'm going to name T2 X. Okay, I'm going to name it X. And then I'm going to write this out as a sequence. T1 is 8. T2 is going to be X. And T3 is 16. Now, remember that formula that ma'am showed you guys at the very beginning, where ma'am said that the common difference is going to be T3 minus T2, which is also equal to T2 minus T1. Now, we're going to use this formula, and we're just going to substitute in the values for each of them. I'm going to ask you guys again, what is T3? What is the value for T3 in this particular sequence? Correct, it's 16. So I'm going to start with 16. I'm going to go 16 minus T2. What is T2? X, good. 16 minus X is going to equal, what is T2? T2 again is X minus T1, which is, how much is T1? 8, correct. And then all we're going to do is we're going to take our formula and rearrange to solve for X. Okay, rearrange the formula to solve for X. So I'm going to take 18 over to that, 16 over to that side, and I'm going to take X over to that side. So what I'm going to have is negative X minus X is equal to negative 8 minus 16. Give me a thumbs up if what I've just written here makes sense. Are you guys all with me? Cool beans. Excellent, good. Yes, we're on to that. We're okay. Princess, where did I lost you? Where did I lost you? Where did I lose you? Correct. Zipozonke, you can do it either way. Okay, we can do it either way. All right, Amukelang, unmute for me, my sweetie, please.
Yo, ma'am, I see a problem.
Where's the problem now?
I carry you see in the participants, there's me, Amhalang Mahopa. And Amhalang Mahopa right now hand. Then there's you and Ma'am Nels. Then there's another Amhalang Mahopa before Amhalang Manahel, and that Amhalang Mahopa is not me. So that is the problem. The problem is stressing me.
Okay, so there's more than one Amukelang Mahopa right now in the chat.
And I am confused, very, very confused.
Okay, let's figure it out, and then we're going to change your guys' name just to make sure that we don't get.
I think she logged in 2 times, like in different devices.
Oh, you might be logged in twice. Okay, so you are going to have to leave you're going to have to log out of, just leave the chat and then come back, not the chat, leave the Zoom call and then join again. All right.
That Amkhalang replied to the chat, like replied, and it was not me.
Oh, that is confusing. Okay, we'll figure it out in a second video. I just need to quickly finish because we're running out of time. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yo, I should delete myself. Thank you.
I know, do not delete yourself. Do not delete yourself. All right, guys. Okay, so we're going to take these negative x minus x is going to give us negative 2x, which is going to equal to negative 8 minus 16 is going to give us negative 24. And then to solve for x, we're just going to divide by negative 2 on both sides. Divide by negative 2. What did I do now? There we go. Okay. Divide by negative 2. Divide by negative 2, and therefore x will equal, x is equal to 12. Good stuff, peeps. Good. So we know that x is equal to 12, right? X is then equal to 12. So what will my common difference be equal to? What is my common difference here? Correct, Mfundo and Siamtanda and Elisha. Good. My common difference is 4. Okay, all right. I'm just going to ask you guys on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are we here? How comfortable are we? Let's just say with sequences in general, because we've run out of time, or arithmetic sequences. Okay, I saw somebody say a 4. If we're at a 4, like I said in Dumiso, I'm going to ask you to please rewatch this episode. Thank you, Teacher Nels. That's the first poll we're going to run this evening. Okay, and then we're going to look at our PACE poll as well. Guys, the poll is now live. Please vote for your class rep. How, Teacher Nels, what happened? Where did it go?
Okay, I don't have all the names. Like I have 4 names so far.
Oh no, okay, but how many names were we supposed to have? I don't want it to be too tedious. Let's not do that. And Dumiso, how are you doing, my sweetie? Hello, Dumiso.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, my boy. What's up?
Oh, ma'am, I have constantly confused, right? When it comes to the substitution, right? I don't know. Majority of the time, I realized the x could go on either side. When I put it on one side, then I found out I got the question wrong. When I put it on the other side, I get it wrong. So which side is normally?
Is it in this question that we're doing right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it won't make a difference. Let me show you why. Let me show you why and do me so. Okay, so if we take the x to the other side instead and we take the 16 or the 8 over, okay, I'm going to get, this is negative x, right? So negative x will go over and become positive x, agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
And if I take negative 8 over, it's going to become
Positive.
Right, so I'm going to end up with 16 plus 8 is equal to x plus x.
Plus x, okay.
16 plus 8 is going to give us 24 on this side, which is equal to x plus x would give us how much in Dumiso?
X squared.
Adding, I have
two
x,
ma'am. X.
How many x's?
Oh, 2x, sorry, 2x.
Correct. We're not multiplying, we are adding. So 2x. Now I want x on its own. How do I get rid of this 2 in front of x?
You divide both sides by 2.
Correct. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. Okay, so those 2 will cancel. Therefore, x is going to equal to 24 divided by 2, which also gives us 12.
Oh, 12. Okay. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Yes,
thank you. All right, my boy.